I had a hobby too. Mine happened to be guns and ballistics, and I studied guns and ballistics as much as I could, and I wrote an article about high velocity.
So out of all my years working at Weatherby, the last 5 have been some of the most exciting. Working with Adam, with him running the company.
And to think that I get the opportunity of carrying on my grandfather's legacy 75 years later here in Sheridan, Wyoming, I mean, it really is a dream come true.
Oh, I'm home. Thank God I'm home.
On Our Mark, the Weatherby Podcast.
All right, welcome to the Weatherby Podcast. On Our Mark, we are here today with Adam Weatherby. I am Kevin Wilkerson. I guess I shouldn't have necessarily just totally introduced Adam, but I'm Kevin Wilkerson.
Hi, Kev. I'm Adam Weatherby.
There you go. And we have a guest, Ben Rogers, who's here in the podcast room with us today. I'll intro Ben just a little bit. Ben's a really good friend of the company Weatherby and also really all of us individually as well. Mm-hmm. Right when we all moved here 2 years ago or something like that, Ben, you reached out and we started hunting together.
He DM'd me on Instagram.
Ben DM'd you on Instagram. That's true.
He's a DMer. Which is funny because when you get to know Ben, he just roams the hills. And Ben, you don't remind me. He just doesn't strike me of a DMer.
Yeah.
But he DM'd me.
Well, I'm glad he did because
now we're all buddies.
Become good friends. I'll say personally, Ben's probably one of the best hunters I know.
Seriously.
Spends more time in the field, both you and your brothers.
Appreciate that.
Than a lot of people I know. So I always enjoy your wisdom. Obviously, because we live here too. So, you know, you're always great to talk about hunting with. But primarily the reason Ben's on here right now is that he also runs Stone Mountain Outfitters, which is officially out of Story, Wyoming, which for people not from Wyoming is 25 minutes from Sheridan.
What's the population of Story, Ben?
I'd be lying to you if I told you.
100?
No, it's probably 600.
That's pretty big.
Really?
That's huge.
Fluctuates with summer and winter, but
yeah,
it's
probably
about
the
600.
10th largest city in Wyoming.
Yeah.
It's probably a bigger one. There's no doubt about that. But, Ben, I'll let you, I'll kind of let you describe to everybody about Stone Mountain.
So Stone Mountain, my wife and I started just this year. I guided for a great friend of mine here in Wyoming for the last 4 years. And then he kind of pushed me in to get my outfitter's license, and that's what we did.
And you're born and raised?
Yep, born and raised. Yep.
Right here.
Third generation.
Right here.
Yep.
Now, one thing I do want to talk about real quick is your previous job and maybe your still job. We don't really know. COVID messed up all kinds of things, but I just find this very interesting because truthfully, I was super out of the realm of what this was, but you were an oil, I don't even know what the actual title would be.
So I was a driller in Prudhoe Bay, Alaska for a native corporation up there.
For how long?
For 10 years.
10? I didn't even know that until just now.
Yeah.
10 years. And so you would do 2 weeks on.
Yep.
It'd be 2 weeks in Alaska, and then basically you'd come back in every day for 2 weeks. Say you want to go to the mountains, you want to hunt, you want to scout, and then you'd be gone for 2 weeks. That's all
Pretty
I know.
much. Yeah.
That's what Ben does. Well, that's what Ben did.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what'd you do up there then?
Drilled oil.
Drilled oil in Prudhoe Bay, which for those of you that listened to our last podcast that we released, myself and Luke and our content developer Mac and another guy went and hunted caribou in Alaska, and we were able. I've known Ben for 2 years now, and it was funny because I was texting him while we were in Prudhoe Bay, which has a population of 0. It's only people living there are drillers and oil people, and you were texting me, telling me all the things about Prudhoe Bay, which is easy to find out because it's like you can just see it's just right there.
Yeah.
But just a bunch of oil wells. It was just really cool because we've known each other for 2 years now. You're there all the time, or you were. And then all of a sudden I found myself on the northernmost highway around on the Bay of the Arctic Ocean. And that's where you spend a lot of time.
I spent a lot of time. It's a unique place.
It's a crazy place.
Yep.
It's really hard to believe that it's around.
Definitely.
And a lot of people that said to do the caribou trip said it's worth driving to Dead Horse Prudhoe Bay. And I was like, I wonder why. But when you went and did it, you were like, this is something out of like an apocalyptic movie.
Yeah.
Like there's just cars, oil, and wells. Big structures. And that's it. And then you leave and there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's a weird place.
It is.
But you spent obviously 5 years there. If you say 10 years,
Technically, yeah,
half your time
yeah,
was there.
Half my time I spent there.
So you spent 5 years there.
Yep.
And you still weren't an Alaskan resident.
Nope.
That's bogus.
So you probably have to have a lot of backup batteries for your headlamp living up there in the winter.
Yeah, luckily we were all on high line power, so we didn't have to
It wasn't
worry
all
too much.
headlamps?
No, there's no tents going on. It's negative 100, isn't it?
Darn close.
No way.
It gets cold.
What's the coldest you've been up there?
Ambient was negative 87. And
Ambient or otherwise?
Well, the other thing, I don't want to get too far into this, but I talked to Ben about it. When we were driving through there was like these little, I don't even know how to describe them. They're just like obviously these little buildings that they put together just to house the oil workers, but there was an electrical plug at every parking spot.
Oh, right, because otherwise
you couldn't start your truck.
Your truck would die every
no
night,
joke, yeah.
which is crazy.
From about January to about the end of March, you keep your vehicles running 24/7. Never get shut off.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard that before.
No.
Never turn them off. Otherwise, you won't be able to start them. It gets too
Wait,
cold.
you run your cars for 90 days without having the engine shut off?
Yep.
Like, were
I
they
mean,
were they
negative-
diesels or gas?
Diesels. And you'll turn them off when you go to do an oil change on them, but you're pouring
Wow,
them
people
into a
leave
heated
them all the
shop.
time.
So did you
Yep.
end up, how often did you change oil then? Is this way off subject, Kevin?
No, I'm okay. I mean, it's interesting.
Oh, my
We
gosh.
didn't change the oil. We had third party
Yeah,
that came
no
in
kidding.
and just took the
But
truck.
you'd have
and-
to change
Yeah, because
it
they're all
more.
business trucks.
They are.
You're not driving your truck up there.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
my gosh. That's crazy. Huh.
Anyways, enough on the oil field.
Is
I
this
just
what
thought
we're
that
here
was-
to talk about,
No, I just
Kevin?
thought that was an interesting little subject. It's a totally different world that
Yeah.
I'm not used to.
Right.
So I'm sure a lot of people generally don't
Yeah.
have a lot of exposure to that.
But
But
what I've come to love about Ben is just his passion for hunting in Wyoming, the mountains, the outdoors in Wyoming. A lot of people love to go and to travel and to go a lot of places. And Ben, I think you've been to some places, but it seems to me you'd rather hunt right here in your own backyard
Right
than
here
anywhere
at
else
home.
in the world.
Yep.
And that's what I love. It's just you're like just that Wyoming blood, like just you come alive when you get on a horse and head in the mountains.
Definitely. There's still a lot of places to find, too. It's kind of a
Yeah.
endless opportunities around here.
Sure. You basically grew up as a kid kind of in those mountains.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I actually grew up on a ranch just west of Buffalo that bordered national forest, so we could take the horses and ride right from the house. And
How
It
old were
was
you when you
endless.
started just riding in the mountains?
Probably 10.
Yeah.
Me and my brothers would go out and
Yeah.
just go exploring and picking up elk horns and enjoying the mountains.
That's cool.
well, we can bring this back to the main point of this being bear hunts in Wyoming. Obviously, I feel like everybody's probably got a pretty good idea. Ben's probably the most mountainous man around. One of which. So Ben's shot a lot of bears. Both yourself and your family has been around bear hunting a long time.
Predators
Yep.
in general.
Predators in general. Yeah,
Yes,
cats.
yes.
Cats being the
Yes.
primary mountain
Yes,
lions. But
yes.
actually, both myself and Adam have shot mountain lions
With Ben.
with Ben. So,
Both were super fun hunts.
yeah,
too.
and we're going to do a different
Yeah.
podcast just on cats. But just for an instance sake, last year you and your brothers killed, what was it?
Or treed.
Okay, yeah. Well,
We killed 13 lions. We treed, I'd be lying to you if I told you, it was over 20.
and the year before that, because season didn't close, you guys treed like
We treed, it was like 34 lions, I think,
Yeah.
we treed the year before.
because once the quota's filled, you cannot even track. You
Right.
cannot even run dogs on a cat track.
That's correct.
So it shuts the whole thing down.
It does.
Because me and Ben killed a cow elk on December. I know all these dates. December 10th last year, me and Ben killed a cow elk. And on the way out, we packed this stupid thing 7 miles. Me and Ben went out all by ourselves. And on the way out, we saw some of the biggest tracks you've ever
We did.
seen.
The one was
But season had
enormous.
closed early last
Season
year.
was closed.
And
yeah.
so we couldn't even run it. Because you said if I could run it, I'd run it just to see how big that cat was.
Definitely. It was a giant.
Yeah, huge cat. It was
Yeah.
scary.
He'll be there this year.
So, anyways, back to bear hunting. We had a unique experience this year in which, Adam, if you want to kind of go into the bear hunt.
Yeah,
Conner.
yeah. I mean, we kind of the way we lined up this bear hunt that we did this spring, which I think we're going to get to here in this podcast, was my son Conner, my oldest son, only son actually, but of 2 kids, but was a senior in high school. Kind of with the whole COVID thing, he was finishing out here at Sheridan High School. Had a great year, won a football championship, go Bronx.
Shout out.
And state champs. And I got to kind of the end of the year, and it was, as most people know, kind of being a senior in high school, it was kind of a bummer this year. It was kind of a little downer. And so I thought, man, it'd be fun to kind of go out with a bang, pun intended. Mm-hmm. And so got Ben involved and created some ruckus in the mountains, taking him up there. So
I want to come off that for a second, then we'll swing back to a main point on that.
Yeah.
But Ben, I wanted to chat about, you said you started Stone Mountain this year. One of the first things you did was this bear hunt operation.
Yep.
Which you have one of the best units around. I don't know how
in
to
the
go
state
about.
for
Okay.
sure. It's,
Yeah. A permit for that area to be an outfitter, right?
except it's a low quota.
Yeah.
Except for that
besides
being a
the
low quota. But you were on some huge bears.
We had some enormous bears coming in. You guys
Yeah.
seen the pictures, and
Yeah, some of the biggest bears I've ever seen.
definitely.
And I've seen some pretty big bears.
Definitely the biggest bears I have ever seen.
Like multiples.
Seen up there.
Multiples. Like cruising around doing
Yeah.
nothing but eating.
Yeah. I can't remember the nicknames I had for them.
King
I had
Kong.
King Kong and Jumbo,
Yep. So
Both of them are still
Right,
roaming.
so Ben got that. Ben, you were getting the kind of your hunting outfit going, and so it was just kind of timely that Conner was talking to me about a bear hunt. We were kind of talking
and
about
COVID
that.
hit, so we were afraid we couldn't go to Idaho because remember we were going to do
Well,
a
all
bunch
the
of
other
different
states
hunts.
closed down, and so we're like, we're stuck in Wyoming, and Ben's like, I got the spot,
Yeah.
and Conner wasn't going to school anyways.
So Ben, you were setting it up for your outfitting business, and
Yeah.
I want to bring this up. You started going in there
April 18th.
April 18th,
Yep.
and the snow was at your waist.
Like shoulders. It was.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I'm
have you
not
seen
very
the videos,
tall.
Kev?
I've seen the videos, but I've forgotten. I thought it was more waist deep. But I just want to bring this up because this gives like maybe the listeners a little bit of an idea of you. You couldn't get to where you wanted to camp.
Yep.
You had snow that was, let's say, chest deep, shoulder deep.
Yep.
You had a pack string of horses. And what did you do to get to camp?
So I went up April 17th, and I tried making it into camp. We couldn't make it into camp. So on the 18th, I went in by myself, and I got about 100 yards shoveled. And
100 yards shoveled.
Of chest deep. I went through it at the end of May. It was a mud pool.
it was terrible.
It was slushy, muddy, snowy in
Yeah.
May. Yeah.
So on the 19th, my brother Zach came up with me, and he helped me dig about the rest. Oh, it was probably another 300 yards to where the
So
snow.
did you have like shovels?
Yeah.
We did, yeah.
Like
Yep.
snow shovels?
Yep, we packed snow shovels up
On
in
the
there.
on the horses.
Yep.
It was a few miles in.
Yeah, it was,
Four,
it was about
yeah.
probably 4 miles to
Yeah.
where we started digging.
Yeah, and then you spent days digging.
2 days. We got it all dug out in 2 days, and then it took several more days to get the rest of the equipment in. But
And the important part about that, I'm just curious. So a lot of people would say, well, why didn't you just wait until the snow melted? But
season would have been closed.
season would have been closed due to quota. But also you were bringing bait in
We were.
for a few different sites.
Yep.
And I remember what you told me is that one of the most exciting things about the spot you've got is the spot and stalk abilities there,
For sure.
which are pretty slim in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Very
Right?
slim.
Especially in our area
Yeah.
here. Spot and stalk isn't the same as it is in Montana or in Idaho, in which you have these huge burns where
Right.
bears are hanging out. You kind of have to figure out a different way to hunt them, potentially in the bighorns.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
And so you're bringing bait in.
Yep.
And so I wanted to bring that section in because you shoveled a ton of snow. And then I wanted to come back to the importance of Conner and you going on this hunt from multiple reasons, like you said.
Sure. Yeah, I think, one, we moved out from California a couple of years ago and just thought it'd be an awesome way to kind of finish his senior year of high school. He'd always had it. It was a bucket list for him. He just really wanted to shoot a bear.
And the other important thing about that is that you guys were using a specific
A new cartridge that's yet to be released, so we can't mention it on this podcast. But that was kind of another part of the story was, my grandfather had tested out cartridges and taken first animals with one. My father had. I have on a couple different ones, and so I thought it'd be pretty cool for the fourth generation of Weatherby to go out there and to harvest first animal with a new cartridge before it's released. And so that story combined with COVID, combined with his bucket list of a bear, combined with Ben and having the opportunity, all lined us up for kind of an epic thing. So
I was just thinking, I'm going to call Conner.
Let's do it.
Grab him on here.
Yep. Connor's out in California. Can't be in the podcast studio.
Let's see if he picks up.
If it's you, he might not.
You got it. Hey, can you hear us?
Yeah. How's it going?
Good. Can you hear us pretty well?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine.
Okay, cool. Well, it's me. It's Kevin. And we got
Hey, how's it going?
Good. We got your dad here.
Hey, Con.
Awesome.
And then we've got Ben Rogers here, who you know from the bear hunt, and amongst some other adventures. So we just wanted to get you on. We've been talking about the adventure you guys had, and just kind of wanted to get you on. Your dad just kind of teed up how this was a bear was something you've always wanted to shoot, and we just wanted to get you on the phone.
Yeah, totally, for sure. Thank you guys for having me on and everything like that. It really means a lot. So
yeah,
cool. First Weatherby podcast. Look at that. That's a historic moment right there.
I didn't even think about it.
Fourth generation Weatherby on the Weatherby podcast. So, Con, one of the things is first I think to tee it up is kind of the timing of it with explain what the end of your senior year was like, maybe leading up to this.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, it was kind of boring, kind of sucks because I didn't really have an end of a senior year. I was just at home every day, and it was kind of a downer senior year. But kind of when you asked me, hey, what do you? I think I actually came up to you and I said I'd love to do a bear hunt like 6 months beforehand. Mm-hmm. You're like, yeah, we could maybe do that. And then kind of as time went on, you were saying like, yeah, this is probably possible. And we're thinking about going to Montana, but then we're like, hey, let's just do it here. And I don't know, it was pretty cool. I was really excited for it beforehand and everything like that. But yeah.
Yeah, and you were actually you didn't stay home. You came down here and earned a bunch of money building guns, huh?
That is true. I'd do my schoolwork, and then I'd come down to Weatherby every day and then build guns, or work in shipping or receiving or whatever. Yeah. But which is awesome. But yeah, it was a little bummer of senior year, but it turned out good in the end. But yeah.
Conner, how many Vanguards do you think you built?
Oh my goodness. I have no idea.
You think you're in the thousands?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So for customers out there with a Vanguard this year, Conner may have assembled it.
Yeah. maybe.
And you can thank COVID for that.
Working great and everything, but yeah, I don't know how many. It was too many, especially when we get big orders in and everything. Mm-hmm. They just put me building those for 8 hours just putting them together. But yeah, I have no idea. A lot.
Yeah, when I'd come down there on the floor, you'd be down there just putting them together.
Mm-hmm. I know. Yeah, it was. I got good at them for a little bit there, but yeah, it was fun. But
very cool. Well, now that you're on the phone, Conner, I kind of wanted to walk through just general conversation about what you guys did and how you got up there, which is part of the cool part, the experience of it. Yeah. Ben, you obviously took a pack string.
Yep.
Up to camp.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we had 2 pack horses.
2 pack horses.
2 pack horses, and then our 3 riding horses.
Yeah.
4 riding horses.
Oh, and let's bring up the other horse rider.
Oh, we did have somebody else come along. Conner, we had a cowboy come along, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We say that tongue in cheek because also the person that went on our caribou trip on the last podcast, Mac Winsenberg here, who is our content producer, also went on this bear hunt to film it, film to be released. And I was not there to experience this, but I have heard some great stories about Mac riding a horse.
He did a great job.
He did. It was his first, wasn't it his first time riding a horse, or maybe third time riding a horse, but first time on a hunt, certainly, riding a horse. And for you, Conner, actually, you'd only rode, your grandpa and grandma's horse a couple times, so you hadn't ridden a bunch before this either.
Yeah, I'd probably ridden a horse once, maybe before when I was like 5. And then Ben was like, all right, hop on. And it was the biggest horse there. And I was like, okay, all right. And then we kind of just started going straight up. And there was a little sketchy parts, but I think like after the few days, I got used to it. But the at night stuff, though, I was not about that, like at all. So
you guys rode at night?
Yeah, like the without headlamp at night. Yeah.
I forgot about that because you guys were hunting the areas right up until dark, obviously.
Right. Till dark. Yeah.
So how long was your ride?
Mac and Conner loved the night rides. It was their favorite. It was their favorite part of the trip.
So how long How long was the ride at night after it turned dark and you guys went back to camp?
I don't know, hour and a half.
45 minutes, an hour, maybe.
Yeah,
Okay.
not that long.
Yep.
All right.
Not that long.
No lights. You're just letting the horses do their thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's what cowboys do,
That's
Kevin.
what I'm all about. I've done it plenty of times.
Yes.
I bet this year on my bear hunt.
Yeah,
oh wait,
definitely.
we walked most of it. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you.
We walked
Yeah.
for 2 hours. We
Yeah.
walked the horses off the mountain.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. But yeah.
Connor, another question actually for you. Why was bear? I know you've been talking about bear for a few years. Why has bear always been? Is we have a lot of listeners maybe haven't hunted bear. Some people, like antlers or whatever. Why did you want to hunt bear?
Well, I've never hunted a predator before. It's always been, things that don't eat meat. And I think I was like, I don't know. There's mountain lion, and then there's bear. And I think everyone knows about a bear. And I think hunting a bear I just thought it'd be really, really cool. It's just different because there's higher stakes at it, and there's not as many of them, and it's harder. And I don't know. It just sounded really, really cool, and kind of having, like I shot deer before, and I've shot, pigs and stuff like that, but I've never shot anything like it. Anything with claws or anything with paws or anything like that. I've just never done that before.
Yeah.
And I'd seen a lot of, whenever you see that, whoa, like he shot a bear, like that's pretty cool. I was like, I don't know why. It's just always been a dream of mine to do.
Cool.
And I think that's, just since I was a kid, I kind of always wanted to. But
So you
yeah, I
guys.
think
So you guys got to camp on day one.
yeah.
Clear skies.
It was. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was-
we went out.
It was good.
And we went out. That was actually the day before season started.
Yep.
So we went out and scouted that night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Checking, watching ridges, watching what? Watching.
Yep. Just watching open hillside that first night.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you guys, did you see anything that night?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw some the first night. Yeah.
Okay. The whole afternoon, or
We
just
saw-
right before
Why'd
dark?
you give me a look? We ended up seeing the bear, but I don't know if we're supposed to spoil the story or anything.
This is the story you guys are telling it.
We saw a bear that we may or may not have shot later
Oh, okay. Okay.
that
okay.
night, but we have.
But
didn't wanna
this was
spoil
the day
the
before.
story.
This is the day before season started.
Correct.
And obviously, Ben, you
we
wanted
saw
to get
big
in
bear.
there.
We saw big bear.
Ben, you wanted to get in there obviously the day before so you could hunt opening day because you knew the quota up there was super small
Correct.
and you knew it was going to close quick.
Yep. There was too many people in the hills.
COVID was probably
COVID,
one of the main
yeah,
reasons for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you guys hunted that. So it wasn't even opening day. You guys saw bears. Then
Yeah.
opening day happens, and what happened?
Packed in there several miles, kind of spent all day.
And you guys were sleeping in the wall tent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Out there in the.
Yeah. And Ben's wife cooked some good camp food ahead of time, and we got to eat it.
Like
at
lasagna or
camp.
something? What?
I don't know. Connor, do you remember any dishes?
Oh, there was spaghetti, and then there was what's
You
it called?
remember?
I don't know. It was a lot of good food. That's all I really remember.
Some breakfast sandwiches.
But,
Yeah, like in the
yeah.
in the vacuum sealer bags.
Oh, sure.
God, it was
Yeah.
good.
She
just
spoiled
A lot
us.
better than Mountain Houses for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Mountain
Cool.
House. Shout out. Mountain House.
Oh yeah, Mountain House.
That's true.
Shout out. Actually, it was kind of the non-shout out because we said it was better. Yeah. But whatever. So what? You guys packed? You guys got out there, sat on some spots.
Yeah, we spent all day.
We did, yeah. All morning we spent riding, glassing. We did see a bear that morning.
We did.
Yep.
Yeah, we saw a bear that morning. Ended up picking up some sheds,
Yep.
which was kind of fun. Some elk sheds.
Oh yeah.
So that was kind of cool. Yeah, so spent a lot of time out there before we headed back, and so we knew, there was where we seen this bear, which was closer to camp. That probably in the evening we were figuring that bear might come out again, so we were going to go back there. So we went and hunted some other spots during the day.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So then that night you guys were hunting too.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me what happened.
Connor.
Yeah. So pretty much, yeah, we were just glassing and then walking all day, and then I think we actually went back to camp, took a quick rest, and then we headed back out that evening around I think 4 or 5, because that's when we kind of saw it the night before. And then we were kind of just sitting down there, and it started raining. Actually, I forgot about that.
Pouring.
It was raining.
Pouring.
Yeah, it was really
It
bad.
did.
Yeah, it was dumping pretty good. And then we didn't really find a place to sit, so we were just soaking wet. And then I remember we were there for maybe not even an hour, like 40 minutes maybe. And I don't know, I was kind of falling asleep. I was really tired. and then Ben slapped my shoulder, And he's like, bear, bear, bear. And then we got up, and the bear was, just kind of sitting there eating. And then pretty much we got into position. I got in a prone position because that's what I've been practicing to do. I'm just better at prone. And I don't know, how many yards away was I? Was I like 200?
209.
Yeah, 209. He remembers. And then, I, shot, and then straight through the shoulder, and then
busted him too, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Rolled it. Yeah. One shot.
It did roll. It got back up and then ran about 10 yards and then fell down again, which was a little sketchy at first because we didn't really see where it dropped. But yeah, then it was a perfect shot. It was a good shot, which I was super happy about. I didn't want to chase down an injured bear, so it was awesome though.
Makes for good stories, but
exactly, yeah.
Well, and what was crazy was, I think the night before, actually, the bear come out more like 7-ish or pretty late, or 8.
Yeah.
So we thought we were going to sit there a couple hours in the rain, and the bear came out earlier. Probably the rain might have pushed the bear around, different pattern than the night before or whatever. So, but it was, you'd been seeing some bears up there. So
Ton of bears.
I mean, obviously Ben knows the bears up there, kind of what's a shooter and what wasn't. So what were you seeing with this bear?
It was definitely a shooter. It's a mature bear.
Yep.
You couldn't have asked for anything better.
Yeah. Yeah. Old bear.
Old bear.
Old bear. Really good coat. Yeah.
I keep checking the Game and Fish website to see the age, and it still hasn't come out yet.
So Ben, tell us what happens with that. So somebody shoots a bear, they have to check it in within 72 hours?
Yep. So we'll check it in with the Game and Fish within 72 hours. They check your tags. You give them the location to kill. If you shot it off a bait, you give them the exact GPS coordinates of the bait.
Which they already have anyways. When you register it.
That is correct. Yep.
And then they take a sample.
They do. Yep. So
tooth.
they take the premolar tooth, and then they'll send it into a lab down in Laramie. And then it's usually about 6 months you get the results on that, and you can get on their website and check the results and see how old your animal was.
That's really cool.
But this is going to be an old bear.
Gonna be an old bear.
Super old bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting. Connor, that'd make me feel good if I shot an old bear like that. That's
no,
pretty cool.
yeah, it was. I was super glad because I didn't want to shoot anything that was younger, and I'm sure. I mean, when we went up to it, there's the snout and the face was pretty, not gray, but I'm trying to remember.
Just worn.
Yeah, it was very worn, and the teeth were super graded down.
Super.
And and even the dude at the Game and Fish, when me and Ben turned it in, it was like, he's like, "Whoa, this is a super old bear." It's like we rarely ever see these, and but I was super happy about that. But yeah, and the hide was perfect too. I mean,
what are you guys doing with it?
It's getting
we're
tanned
just
right
tanning
now. And then we'll figure it out. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you shot the bear, had a good time at camp that night, I'm sure.
Yep. Took pictures for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Benefits of having a content producer with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and then we packed it straight up a hill. The horses were probably just half mile away. Half mile away, straight uphill. So Connor we all kind of packed the bear. Ben packed a lot of the meat. I probably packed some meat as well, and then Connor took the whole hide and head.
Cool.
Got the epic pictures of Connor packing that up the hill, and then Ben didn't get any credit for carrying most of the meat, but that was pretty exhausting, huh, Connor?
Yeah, that hill kind of sucked. It was straight uphill.
Well, I remember when you got to the top, you're like, "Yeah, I'm really glad we're hunting on horses now."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, the horses didn't like it at all. They were super sketched out
By the bear?
They were super skittish about it because they saw the hide and the head and everything.
Well,
they didn't like that.
It's a smell.
Yeah, probably
definitely.
the smell too.
Some of the horses reacted differently than the others. So, yeah, we had to kind of separate. It was a little adventurous getting back.
Yeah.
Horses were a little spooky.
Usually is with bears and
but
bear meat. They don't tend to like that.
Yeah, but it's cool. I mean, it's opening night. To be able to tag a nice mature bear.
Yeah, you can't beat that. And
it was awesome.
That sounds
and
like a
one
great
shot with the new cartridge.
Yeah,
it was like
exactly what the goals were.
Everything. Yeah, everything we wanted to do.
That's awesome.
It was pretty cool.
Well, Connor, man, thanks for joining us on the the podcast. Again, congrats on the bear. Everybody had a great time.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yep.
I really appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah.
I know you're out there in California.
We're doing a film on it, aren't we?
Yeah, I said that.
Probably after the cartridge comes out. So sometime in 2021, there'll be a film on it. And check it out. And
have the whole thing on there.
See it firsthand. So yeah,
cool.
It was fun.
Yeah.
All right, Connor.
Cool. Thanks for joining
Thanks,
us, Connor.
man.
All right.
Okay.
See you,
Yeah, for
Connor.
sure. Thanks for having me on. See ya.
So let's talk real quick, because you were talking about what Game and Fish does with that, and then why it was important to shoot it on opening day. What's the deal with the quota in Wyoming? How does Wyoming work? I know Montana, I think some units have quotas. I'm always confused about Montana because I've hunted Montana a couple times, and Idaho definitely doesn't. Idaho's like 2 bears a person, and most units, you can just shoot the bears. Wyoming's a little different.
It is. So Wyoming's based off of a female mortality rate. It's a female quota. So in our area in particular, there's 8 females. So as soon as 8 females have been shot, then the season is shut down.
Unlimited males.
Unlimited males. Yep.
But for the most part, probably black bears are one of the hardest animals to differentiate between a male and a female, which doesn't help the mortality rate
Definitely.
because more than likely people are just shooting bears.
Oh,
Yep.
they just go, there's a big boar. There's a sow. There's a big boar. There's a sow. Right?
Yeah. And most people, and it's also hard to judge their size even. Like everything
For sure.
about it's so difficult.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that really affects that mortality rate. But in your unit was 8.
8.
And myself and another group of guys were planning to go in there.
The week after
Not
we
even, but it wasn't even a week.
It wasn't, no.
like
It was
3 days, I think.
4 days.
yeah.
Yep.
And then we didn't even get to go in.
No.
It shut down in 3 days.
Shut down the night before.
3 days, right?
Yep. Four days. It was open
4 days. 8 females got shot in 4 days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. 9. They went over by 1.
Oh yeah, so they shot 9 females.
Because we'll explain the reporting, how that can happen.
So the reporting got the 72 hours to check in your bear. So say that you shot a bear the same day that area closed or that quota was met, and you check the bear in the next day, then all
So
of a
it's
sudden
possibly legally that probably happens most years.
yeah, and so
For
the
sure.
fall,
They say
and
it
the
could
fall
be 9 or
season
10.
gets docked
by that one bear.
by how
Or
many
however-
ever go over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be a bummer. Pretty much every year that mortality rate is that low.
Definitely.
Because
Yep.
we've already gone through you shoveling snow,
Right.
bringing in how many horse loads?
Oh, we brought in probably 15 loads. Oh, more than that.
A lot of loads.
It was probably 30 horses worth of equipment into camp
planning on being there for the whole.
the whole season.
Yeah,
into
that's the
June.
plan, right?
Yeah.
You're going to plan on being there
Yeah.
for a month, and you didn't make it 4 days.
So it's tough. It's a tough thing to do with a quota. Now, their quotas they revise each year, but
No,
there's
every
every
3
3
years.
every 3 years.
Yep.
Okay. Because there's a high population of bears up there.
There is.
A
But
ridiculous amount of bears.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we want to breach this topic, but I'm gonna. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you guys took as much meat off that bear as you possibly could, of course.
yeah.
But didn't you say bears were eating on that bear?
That carcass was gone.
Yeah, we did.
was-
We took all the meat. Obviously, I didn't gnaw on it with my teeth like the bears came and did. But yeah, you saw it later, and it was totally.
It was just.
It was gone. I went back.
It wasn't even there.
No, well, it was there,
Couple
but
weeks.
But
it
all-
was
It was
weeks
picked
later.
clean,
couple weeks. It was all it was bones.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty cool. I'm excited that you get to hunt up there. I mean, it's obviously such a bear-heavy unit, and hopefully the quota doesn't fill as fast as it did this year. I think the COVID stuff really messed up quite a bit of
So
that.
for conservation purposes, I mean, what is there? Have you asked them about the quota, why it is what it is, and how do they determine, how to adjust that quota? I mean, we all want healthy populations of all sorts of game, both predators and otherwise that are up there. What's kind of have you talked to them about it? I know you're not Game and Fish, so it might be putting
Right,
you on the
yeah.
spot, but
I couldn't answer that question for them. I know that they are doing a study right now in that part of the mountains. So hopefully with that study comes back to tell them that they can raise the quota that they have.
An appropriate population of bears
Definitely.
to be able to harvest more.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, actually, I think all the quotas filled. Sometimes some quotas don't even fill in Wyoming.
Right.
And this year, like every quota filled
Even over in Jackson.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think, part of it was, like you said, with with COVID and people weren't doing work or school or whatever. And so they said, well, let's go bear hunting.
That's exactly what
for
they
sure.
did.
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
cool. Well, we just wanted to jump on the line and talk a little bit about that bear hunt experience that you had with Conner.
Yeah.
Really cool that we did it with the 4th generation.
Yeah.
Ben, super thankful for you taking them out.
It was great to be involved with it.
Yeah.
Well,
Pretty
thanks
neat
for
hunt.
being a part of it. It was special for us, and I know it'll be something. Conner always remembers. I mean, senior year of high school is a memorable time, and I think COVID was kind of a downer for a lot of reasons, and so to be able to finish it like that was, we were talking about doing a lot of different hunts, and then to be able to go in our backyard here in Wyoming, with somebody that we know and trust, and got great horses, and it was just, it couldn't have gone better for us. I had a bear tag too. And then we only had a certain amount of days to kind of be up in there, and didn't see another shooter in the time period that we were there. But the main reason was to go for Conner.
Yeah.
Anyways, and by the time I thought about going back up, it was long gone. The quota had been
quota was
filled and all
long
that
gone.
kind of stuff. But it was really about Conner, doing that, and so it was a special time. So yeah,
That's cool.
It was fun. It was a neat
Yeah.
hunt.
Anyways, that's this episode of On Our Mark, the Weatherby Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll hit you next time on the next episode.